There's a special kind of rage they don't warn you about in those moving to the suburbs pamphlets. It's not the kind you get stuck in traffic or from an IRS audit letter. No, this is a slow, creeping beige rage, soft as fresh-cut grass, polite as a card from your dentist, but just as ominous. It sneaks up on you standing out there on your patch of perfect lawn, 7:14 a.m. on a Tuesday, sporting a bathrobe that should have been retired with the Bush administration and a pair of knockoff Crocs clutching a certified letter like it's the results of a paternity test. And let me tell you this letter. It's not good news. I already knew what was inside. Still, I tore open that envelope, the kind of thick linen finish stationery you know you paid for yourself, seeing as every HOA is really just a stationery buying club with a mean streak. The header screamed, "Notice of Violation Code 44B, Unapproved Exterior Materials. Severity High." I looked up at my house. Two-story colonial, bland enough to please the gods of suburbia. My neighbor to the left. Same house. Except he had a Tesla charger and the sort of smugness you usually find on Instagram fitness coaches. I scanned the outside. Siding spotless. Grass. Exactly 2.5 inches like the bylaws demand. Bushes, spherical, defying all laws of botany. My eyes drifted up roof. It was a roof. Shingles. Gray. Water stayed out. What more do you want? 6 years old, still fresh, laid down by the previous owner. If this roof was any more boring, it'd be invisible. But according to the letter, the Architectural Control Committee, 3 words that ought to be illegal together had discovered my roofing materials have suffered significant UV degradation, resulting in a color shift from the approved charcoal mist to a non-compliant slate gray. This variance creates a lack of visual cohesion within the subdivision. Please remit a plan for full replacement within 30 days. Failure to comply will result in a fine of $500 recurring weekly. I literally cleaned out my ear with my finger and read it again. Slate gray versus charcoal mist. Really? I glared at the roof, squinted, tilted my head, tried to summon the spiritual vision of a psychopath. Still looked gray, maybe blackish. If there was a difference, it was the kind of thing only the Hubble telescope or maybe Brenda Higgins could see. Speak of the devil and she'll jog by with a golden doodle in tow. I heard her before I saw her power walking, arms pumping, dragging poor Sir Barks-a-Lot, who looked like he'd rather be anywhere else. Brenda Higgins, president of the HOA. This is the woman who once measured my grass with a ruler she keeps in her fanny pack. She gives me the nod, not a hello, just a watch yourself. So I raise my voice. Mrs. Higgins. It comes out like a gunshot. The dog jumps. She pauses, yanking out one earbud. Her face is set in that I'm smiling, but I will absolutely ruin your day way. Good morning, Jack, she says, her voice somewhere between lilacs and Lysol. Please tell me you're not checking the mail in your robe. We have rules about curb appeal before 8 a.m. I'm not checking the mail, Brenda. I'm checking my sanity. I wave the letter. Certified mail. I had to sign for it in front of the postman and my hairy knees. Her smile flickers just for a second. Ah, the roof. Yes, the roof, I say, stalking down the driveway, robe flapping. Look at it, Brenda. Look at the roof. She glances up. Not just a glance, though, she inspects, head-cocked, eyes narrowed. It's really quite jarring, isn't it, she finally says. Jarring! I laugh, and it's not a pretty sound. It's gray shingles, Brenda, not neon pink, not made of soda cans, gray asphalt. Slate gray, she corrects me as if I'd mixed up Coke and Pepsi at a wine tasting. Covenants clearly state all roofs must be charcoal mist. The builder installed charcoal mist, but you haven't been maintaining the UV sealant protocols. UV sealant protocols, I sputter. It's a roof. Its job is to get sunburned so I don't have to. Section 9, paragraph C, she fires back, voice never rising. Maintenance of exterior integrity. The sun has bleached the pigment, Jack. It's no longer compliant. It disrupts the visual harmony. If we let you keep a slate gray roof, Bob will want gunmetal gray. Then what anarchy? Anarchy, I echo. Because of gray. Property values, Jack. There it is. The nuke in any HOA argument. We are protecting your investment. I am not thanking the committee for making me tear off a perfectly good roof just to spend 20 grand on one that looks exactly the same. She sighs, the world-weary martyr of suburbia. It doesn't look the same. The elbow is different. Look, I don't make the rules. I just enforce them. 29 days left. She pops her earbuds back in. Come on, Sir Barks-a-Lot. We're losing our heart rate zone. I stand there fist white on that letter, staring up, trying to see what she sees. I see gray. That's it. Just gray. Inside Sarah, my wife is making coffee eyes locked on her phone. Who was that, Higgins? I slap the letter on the counter. They want us to replace the roof. She freezes. The roof. The one we just had inspected. The one that's supposedly fine for another 15 years. Because it's the wrong shade of gray. She reads the letter, then just looks at me. Is this a joke? I wish. Her voice drops to that I'm not mad. Just bankrupt register. Jack, we do not have $20,000 for a vanity roof. We need to replace the HVAC next year. We're not doing this because Brenda Higgins is bored. I know I say, but my voice is getting louder. But you know how they are. They'll put a lien on the house, garnish us, tow my truck just for fun. I pace. The beige rage is turning into something sharper. I grab my laptop. What are you doing? Sarah asks. I'm reading the bylaws. Every single word. If they want to play by the book, I'm going to find a loophole big enough to drive a cement mixer through. 4 hours. That's how long it took to read the covenants, conditions, and restrictions of the Oaks at Whispering Pines. 140 pages of rules, each more joyless than the last. No flags over 3 by 5. No vegetable gardens where God and neighbors might see. No cars in the driveway more than 48 hours. Trash cans hidden by 6 p.m. But they're page 84. Roofing standards. Must use architectural asphalt shingles. Colors the black-gray spectrum to maintain aesthetic neutrality. No two-tone patterns, no highly contrastive designs. But then wait. Variation in shingle tone is permitted, provided both tones fall within the approved color palette. Appendix B. Appendix B, midnight black, charcoal mist, obsidian shadow, raven's wing. Slate gray suspended as of 2024. I stare at those names. Sounded more like Axe body spray than roof colors. I search the manufacturer's website. Specs show the only real difference a hair's breadth in reflectivity. Midnight black absorbs a smidge more light than obsidian shadow. A plan starts to form. Not a good plan. Not a cheap plan. But a plan that soothes the beast of spite living in my chest. If I have to replace the roof, then I'm going to do it by the letter. I'm going to pixelate that roof. A roof is just a grid of shingles, right? Pixels. I start sketching. Letters. HOASCAM. Each letter 15 feet tall. From the street, all black, all compliant, no contrast. From above Google Earth's eye, just maybe we'll see my message. Of course, I can't do this alone. Enter Rusty, the least reputable roofer on page 10 of Google. 2 stars because he argues with city inspectors. Rusty looks exactly like you'd think, leather skin, trucker hat, coffee, black as sin. We meet at the Yolks on You, a diner that smells like bacon and broken dreams. You want a roof, he grunts. Not just any roof, I have requirements. I lay out the swatches. He squints, rubs his thumb over the grain's eyes, lighting up with slow, wicked glee. You want to weave 'em like spell something? Pixelate, I say, giant block letters. There's a moment of silence. Then Rusty laughs, a sound like a rusty chainsaw coming to life. You son of a bitch. You hate him too, with the fire of 1,000 suns. He tells me his own war stories. How Brenda called the EPA because his truck leaked oil, it was condensation. Called the cops on his kid for sidewalk chalk. Rusty slams his hand on the table. I'm in, but we gotta be sneaky. My crew don't read English anyway. They'll follow the grid. We plan it out. Materials from 2 vendors. Hide the special shingles. During install, it looks random. Only from the sky it all comes together. The install day is an operatic farce. Rusty's battered trucks block the street right at the legal limit. At 7 a.m., sharp permitted hour, he fires up the compressor. Higgins storms out, silk kimono, billowing voice full of threats. Noise violation. Unapproved contractors. Permits taped to the door. Shingles midnight black, just as the rules allow. She retreats fuming. But the tension isn't over. Enter Kevin, 30-something tech guy, loves his drone more than his wife. He's about to launch and catch the pixel art in progress. I sprint out, spinning a yarn about Tesla, solar shingles, proprietary tech, magnetic fields, void your warranty. He buys it. Drone grounded. Every petty war needs its Waterloo. For me, it's the dumpster. Higgins measures, smug as ever, says, it's 2 inches too close to the curb. Fine, move it back 3 feet, block my driveway completely, and park my noisy F-150 directly across from her Escalade's driveway. Watching her do a 20-point Austin Powers turn at 7:30 a.m. while I sip my coffee in my robe, well, sometimes karma is just geometry. The new roof compliant as could be on paper. The HOA inspection is a pageant Brenda Bob Karen with their clipboards sniffing for trouble. Rusty cleaned up for once talks up architectural depth slate effect the Hamptons look. Brenda flattered signs off. Certificate of compliance victory for now. But my secret burns. From the street, the roof is a sea of black. From the sky, I check Google Earth daily. Months pass nothing. Then one day, a real estate drone photo pops up in a neighbor's listing. There it is, just a shadow, but the letters begin to emerge. Eventually, the day comes, Google Earth updates. My house in glorious high-res spells out HOASCAM, visible from space. I don't email it to the HOA. Too easy. Instead, I drop it on Nextdoor with a burner account. Is this graffiti on a roof? LOL. The internet does the rest viral in hours. Reddit, local news, even Good Morning America picks up rage roofing. The HOA calls an emergency meeting. Brenda's rage vibrates through the phone. At the meeting, packed with neighbors, teens on TikTok. A popcorn vendor, Brenda points at the screen. This is vandalism. You must repaint. I stand certificate in hand. Brenda, you signed off. Street view is what counts. No bylaw covers satellites. The crowd erupts. Reporters move in. The board's authority collapses on live TV. Brenda and her cronies are voted out. The new board rewrites the rules. Roofs must keep water out. That's all. My house is now a local landmark. Turn left at the scam roof. Brenda, in the end, moves to Florida. We share one last word, almost a smile between old adversaries. Sitting on my porch, beer in hand, I look at my house on Google Earth. The letters remain indelible and eternal, a tiny act of resistance in a world of small tyrannies. Was it childish, maybe? But sometimes the price of peace is a little well-placed mischief. Here's what I learned in the battle of petty rules versus stubborn humans. The only real losers are the ones who think power is the same as respect. We all need to keep the rain out. But who says we can't have a little fun along the way? So what would you have done? Is justice found in the rulebook or in a well-timed act of rebellion? Drop your story in the comments. Ever had a run-in with an HOA, seen karma come back around? Let's hear it, because sometimes the best victories are the ones you have to look up to see.
Cảm ơn các bạn đã xem video.